Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We are following on from yesterday's win at Tannadice. A 2-0 win for Celtic keeps us 9 points clear at the top of the table. A fresh week, which means fresh news. Well, no really, there's not much to talk about. We're going to try and milk it, as we usually do. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. It would be much appreciated. We are just about 200 subscribers away from the next 1,000 mark. 37,000 subscribers. So if you haven't, it would be much appreciated if you go below and hit the big red button. It's absolutely free. Yes, we're back. And it's a quiet day. We are now getting to the end of the January transfer window. The deadline is tomorrow at midnight, which means Celtic have, well, as I sit here currently, just about, what, 36 hours, maybe, to make some signings. So, you know what, like, I don't think anything will happen. Yeah, let's just cut to the chase. I think that's the window done. We're going to talk about Ange Postecoglou's comments in a moment, but in that regard, it's been a very successful window. I'm very happy with the business that Celtic have conducted, both with the way in and the way out. You know, we've expected departures, we've seen departures, and there's maybe one more big one to come, which is the subject of today's video. But I'm very happy, and we'll review it all on Wednesday once the window slams shut tomorrow night and all business is done and dusted. We'll have a little review. We'll look at everything, every player that was involved, and how we fare for the rest of the season with the squad depth that we have. Ange Postecoglou making comments yesterday about the squad depth right now and how good it actually is. You know, it's the best it's been since he's been here. He said it himself. Here is the manager's comments, in fact, about the squad. In regards to the rest of the window, he said that Michael's not even answering his phone right now. He's not taking calls anymore. I think he's telling me we are done. It is probably the strongest squad I have had since I've been here in terms of their depth and their quality. I'm sure all will contribute. And guys like Dyson Maeda, Liela Bada, they can play through the middle as well. So I'm really comfortable. It's been a really positive window. And again, that is always our aim. So the manager, very pleased. He's been backed. You know, there was a lot of, going into this window, a lot of people were quite concerned about maybe the return of Peter Lawwell having an effect on the signings and the transfer dealings, but it seems Michael Nicholson's still very much the man in charge, even name dropped by Ange here. And I was concerned that we'd maybe, you know, for the likes of Giakoumakis leaving, we'd maybe miss out on a replacement. Not through anything to do with Peter Lawwell or anything like that, just I was scared we couldn't find the guy. But we have found the guy. We've brought in so the window has been a roaring success. I'm very pleased with how it's went. Ange is obviously very pleased how it's went, and that's the thing. You want to see the manager get backed. When players are leaving in particular, you want to see the placements come in. You want to see the reassurance that we're going to continue building a squad that's good enough to challenge, not only domestically, but further afield in Europe as well. So, I mean, if the manager's got no quarrels, I've certainly got no quarrels. And, I mean, 4 great signings in this window. Alistair Johnson, Awata, Kobayashi, and I mean, that's a very good window. And I think if you offered me that December 31st, saying that that's how we'd end the January window, I'd have choose your hand off for it. So today we're going to talk a little bit about Georgios Giakoumakis, because the saga looks to be ending. It looks to be coming to a close finally. It's been going on all month. We've known for the longest time now that the intention of Giakoumakis was to leave Celtic in this January transfer window, which is fair enough. And Celtic have done their business. They've replaced him. And it's just about now looking for the move. Now, all window we've been hearing about rumoured transfers. The closest that it looked as though it was coming to one was that Urawa Red Diamonds move in Japan. That doesn't look to be happening anymore, and the most recent news we've heard is, of course, in relation to Atlanta United, which has been very up and down, but Giakoumakis apparently favouring a move to the MLS for family reasons has kept us waiting. But I think today, maybe by the time I've made this video, but either today or tomorrow, I think we'll get the official confirmation that Georgios Giakoumakis has left Celtic. So we're going to look at the updated situation, we're going to look at the manager's comments, and we're going to look at everything in regards to what Celtic will receive from this offer. Because I know a lot of fans had their expectations high for Giakoumakis. Both if he remained a Celtic player with what he could do at this club, but if he left, I think a lot of people were expecting £7-8 million for him, a big team to maybe come in, but it's maybe not went that way. We're still making profit, and that's the important thing. And I think it's also important that if someone doesn't want to necessarily be here, we move them on. But it's a shame he is going. But let's go through all the details. So it was last reported yesterday by a Greek outlet, SDNE, that the MLS side, Atlanta United, have tabled a bid worth up to £4.3 million for Giakoumakis. And it's understood that Celtic will accept the offer, and he'll go and join them rather than the original bid that was accepted by Urawa Red Diamonds. This is after a bit of a conversation between Celtic and the MLS side, apparently, where Celtic didn't want to accept their original offer because there was stuff to do with an option to buy rather than an obligation to buy. But apparently now, according to this Greek report, it's a £4.3 million fee that Celtic will accept, and Giakoumakis will accept the contract negotiations pending medicals and all that jazz. So that's the last thing we've sort of heard. It does look as though he is on the way out of Celtic. I think that's pretty much confirmed. Even our good friend of the channel, Hamish Carton, has been in the act. He tweeted this earlier, so shout out to Hamish. Don't know who his sources is, but he put this up this morning saying that Giakoumakis was at Lennoxtown earlier for the final time, collecting his stuff off to Atlanta United in the MLS with a transfer to be completed in the coming days. So apparently been at Lennoxtown for the last time, collected his stuff, said farewell to everyone. Really sad when you think about it. I mean, I would be there with a tear in my eye if I was present on location, but it looks as though that could be it for Giakoumakis. He could be on the way out, and I think we've expected it. There was just obviously that talk of maybe he could have stayed. Maybe there was a possibility that the transfer didn't happen and Celtic re-evaluated their options in the summer window. Now I think that would have been really difficult for us because you've got a player of such quality there, but you've obviously brought in and how do you balance the minutes between the two? Because obviously one doesn't want to be there but has a great amount of quality and you want to keep happy, and you could also maybe convince to stay. But then obviously you've brought in someone for a decent enough fee, someone young who needs the minutes, who's ready and raring to go as well. So it would have been a right dilemma for us. I think it is important we do get Giakoumakis out now, and I don't mean that in a negative way, and I don't mean that in a farewell, cheerio, don't want to see you again. I mean that in, just for the best of the club and the best for him, just so there's no conflict of opinions or anything on at the club that's negative. It would have just been a bit of a handful, I think, for Ange to juggle time between the three strikers. Ange did comment on the matter after the Dundee United game yesterday, and he said it was still sort of in the balance. Now, of course, there has been updates since, and I think there's more, I think we've got more assurance that it might happen now, but his comments yesterday was still sort of in the balance, and we need to just wait and see what happens from there. He went on to say following that there are only 2 days to go, and with Michael not taking my calls anymore, I'm not really sure what's going on in the background. I assume everything will be resolved in the next couple of days, one way or another. As it stands right now, nothing is definite in terms of his next move. So that was yesterday. Has it changed much to today? I don't know. I'm not in the know. I don't have an idea. Obviously, nothing is sure and nothing is definite until he's passed medicals, till contracts are signed, till work permits have been found. There's so much more to it moving a player over to the MLS than there normally would be. And we need to wait for all of that to kind of go through. So, this is one of these ones that I think technically could maybe be finalised beyond the closing of the transfer window. I think we might need to wait for the official confirmation, perhaps beyond tomorrow, but I'd imagine we'd hear over the next couple of days the Giakoumakis situation, which I'm glad is coming to an end. My overall point after all of this being that it's good that it is coming to an end, that the saga is closing, because it's dragged on, it's got tedious, it's got boring, and I love him with all my heart, Giakoumakis, but I can't wait to see the back of it. Not the back of him. I will miss him. I loved him, and I will always remember him as a good player for Celtic. Very fond memories of Giakoumakis, in fact. But I'll be glad to see the back of all the talk and rumours and fees being thrown around. Like, I just want us to move on with our season. I want O to come in and start scoring goals. We've got a League Cup final to focus on. There's so much that matters more than one singular player. So I'm looking forward to having it all done and dusted. So soon as something else happens, I'll be here to tell you on the channel. But if anything that Mr. Carton is saying and the rest are to go by, it looks as though that could be done in the next couple of days. And that about does it in terms of the big news. The other wee things to talk about, the tickets are now on sale for that League Cup final against Rangers at Hampden next month. We're not in February yet. I've been balloted. I have my ticket, thank God. It's obviously very difficult to get a hold of these ones. They're like gold dust for the home cup ticket scheme holders, basically. So yeah, glad I've got my ticket. I hope that the majority of you watching have managed to find one yourself and managed to get one. So I'll be there, and I'm sure to trying to build up to it as best as I possibly can. So that's the 26th of February, remember, that's the date. Of course, Wednesday night, we'll be playing Livingston in the league at Celtic Park, and at 7:45 kick-off. It'll be good to be back at Celtic Park. And what is a quite busy month for Celtic when you think about it. We have 5 fixtures to play, one being that League Cup final, and they're all big games. 3 of them at Celtic Park. But, by the end of this month, we could have a very clear picture as to where our season's heading, if there's a treble possible, what the league title picture will be looking like. It's a very big month for Celtic, so we'll talk about it all as February comes upon us. But we've still got to close off January, so we'll get that finished first. Right, that does it for today. Thank you all for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be appreciated, and I'll see you all next time.